Hello and welcome everyone to another Frankie's Open Mic with Frankie's Podcast Network. I'm your host, Haleigh Overseth, and I am here with Xiao Lin Wen, fellow artist and creative. Hello, friend. How you doing?
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I'm really excited to share my art and see your art as well, Haleigh. So thank you for having me on this show.
I'm so glad you came to hang out. We're going to do something a little different here, y'all, than maybe a normal podcast. We're going to play show and tell, like when you were in kindergarten and first grade, right? Did you do that? They did that at my school.
Yeah, me too.
Show and tell time. I'm so excited. Oh, look, and Sage is in the house to say hello. Thank you, Effortless God Sage, one of my other co-hosts, for stopping in the comments. We gotta have a hangout. Shaolin's gotta come hang out with us. And can we start just for a hot second? Tell me how annoying it is that everyone probably pronounces your name wrong, and like correct me if I do pronounce. Seriously, correct my South Dakota mouth if I say it wrong. But
you're pronouncing it perfectly. I do get people pronouncing it like with the Z sound, like Xiao. But I do correct them, but most of the time I'm totally fine if they call me Xiao or Xiaolin, because it is a pretty hard name to pronounce.
Yeah. I love it when the studio audience behind you gets involved. It's a fun time. No, I listen. That's one of my. Oh, and here's Omni popping in. Hello. We did start early, and we thank you for finding it funny. We think we're fun, but I do just listen, and that goes to any guests that I ever have. Like, correct my mouth if I say it wrong. But I do love your name. I think it's fun, and you know what? I think it belongs in a big like Museum of Modern Art Expo, and that's where I'm gonna say we're gonna have you manifest it. We're gonna, you know what? Let's manifest it together. We're gonna have an art show together. It's gonna be great.
Well, I'm looking forward to the day that we actually meet up and then we have our show together.
Let's start. What's your first piece that you're gonna start with? Show us off something.
Ooh, already? Okay.
Already.
I'll start with a simple one.
Start with whichever one you want. It's your art. You can show off whichever. It's your show and tell.
So this one's just like a silly one. It's like a little duck. I used gouache paint on watercolor paper.
Ooh, show me that. That's now for our audio listeners who will hear this later. You got to check it out on the YouTube because it's beautiful. It says, I love how the duck is kind of the like quack. He's like, quack. I love that. Okay, now you said that's gouache paint?
Yes, gouache paint.
On watercolor paper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talk to me about this because I think you might be a little like me then in the art world where you like to, I love to do the mixed media stuff. Like I'm big into oil pastels, but I've mixed up with other different kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So, and I've tried gouache paint, but like I have a hard time with it because it's a unique texture. Mm-hmm. And it talk to me about why you picked that and what's your mixed media styles or your favorite mediums.
Yeah, I would say gouache paint is like acrylic, and between acrylic and watercolor, it leans towards more the watercolor side where it's water soluble. So if you use water, if the paint dries and you use water, you could reactivate it and you could use it to paint again. Yeah.
I haven't played with it that way. That's interesting. Okay, that's a fun new little thing that I didn't know. How exciting. I get to learn from you too while we do show and tell. This is getting even more fun as we go. I love it.
Yeah, so that's why gouache is unique, and that's why I chose it. I chose gouache because watercolor was very intimidating to me because you need a lot of water for that, and like I was afraid of like the pigment just like swirling around. I didn't know how to control that, so you know, my intro to kind of like this water-based paint was gouache, and that's what I started off. And later in my art, you can see that I start pivoting to watercolor.
I do really love that it's like that again water base that you're going with, and it's a duck. You're keeping very to the water theme, and I'm big into like the water element stuff too. So you're right up my alley. I love it. But my other elements are fire. So this one is this is oil pastels, but they're not as soft oil pastels. They're almost kind of more like crayons. So it's got like a chalky feel to it. But this is like one of the first ones that I did, and I do a lot more abstract type stuff, as you can see behind me.
I love those colors. I actually use oil pastels as well. I didn't put any of them in my pile right now, but
well, that just means you have to come back again, right?
I do.
Oh, like you better. I don't know if you knew this, but once you hang out one time on a podcast with me, you're contractually obligated to continue hanging out on podcasts with me. That's how it goes.
I'm obligated to come back.
You have to. Like, we're gonna have to have a whole oil pastels episode conversation. It's now necessary. Different paint types smell differently. That is true.
They do, yeah.
Talk to me a little bit and show me another one and talk to me a little bit about, so like that is something when you are working with sometimes those paints or different types of mediums, like you do have to be either outside doing it or somewhere where you've got some really good ventilation, right?
Yeah. For the materials that I use, like watercolor and gouache, you don't really need a lot of ventilation, like compared to oil paintings. They use a lot of like different chemicals, so that's why you need to be in a well ventilated area. But for gouache and watercolor, you could just grab it and go. You could paint in your studio, you could paint it outside. This is why it's like I love it, because it's so versatile and you could just grab and go.
No, like pull me up some more art to show me while we're talking, but like I agree with you. That is, so the oil pastels, I partly started doing that when I was kind of getting into doing the art, because I like that they're smeary. They make me think of lipstick. Like when I was a kid and I had my mom's Avon samples and I would like play with the lipstick, right? But I tried to do like oil paint, right? But I live where there's winter and you got to be indoors a lot for a good chunk of the year. And that wasn't going to work for me to like keep doing that, because it is like a really potent, like even out in the garage would have been a lot. So that was another one of the reasons that I kind of do stick to the oil pastels and those kind of other mixed mediums that don't have that sort of chemical smell, right? Because you do have a little bit more freedom to move about the cabin, if you will.
Yeah, me too. I haven't tried oils, but I would love to try it in the future, because like I'm intimidated. I don't know like what are the proper steps to use these oils along with the chemicals.
You know what? I kind of think all you have to do is just watch like old Bob Ross PBS episodes, and
I love Bob Ross. Right? He's OG.
He is the OG. I love Bob Ross. I love his vibes. Like that's all. I think that's all you need to do is just get some old Bob Ross stuff, and he'll teach you everything you need to know about oil paints, and you'll just be flying before you know it.
Yep.
Making happy little trees and happy little clouds.
Speaking of Bob Ross and happy little trees and animals, well, I have another duck.
I love that this is great. You have no idea how on brand this really is for me. There, like duck energy you're perfectly on brand. I love it. That's beautiful. Show me again and tell me what this one's on.
So I'm like very inspired by my outdoors and environment. So I love taking pictures of where I go, and like this was one of the pictures I took of a duck, and I was like, this just looks so beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and I love that swirling water around it that you have. Can you tell me a little bit maybe about how you kind of got that effect? That that is a very especially up on top, that's got such a I love it's like a swirling vortex that it's sitting in. Like it's almost got a very sort of watery and cosmic vibe to it that I very much am digging. Like talk to me about that.
This was actually my first time like painting water. Like it took me such a long time, and this was used
I would never believe you. I would never believe you that was the first time you did that. Never.
And this was used with gouache, by the way, and gouache is like you can cover it up if you make a mistake. So that's really nice on this part. But I started off with like, just copying the image that I had and trying to, do these light areas with like a lighter like green, blue.
I think it's got
Yeah.
like, it's a beautiful effect. I love like, and you know, again, that you're kind of using that water base to get the water-based paint and getting that water effect. Like, I really do like that. Omni Cosmic Watery Vortex does sound yummy, and that's why we're so glad that Xiao Lin is here to show us. I love that you've got a thing for ducks. My sister actually wants a duck tattoo, so like maybe you could do like an art tattoo version. She's got the same thing. She's got a picture of the duck that she wants. Like, I got to get you hooked up with my sister so you can art pretty up a duck for her tat.
Liquid fan over ducks. I love ducks. I might get
I'm-
a duck tattoo one day too.
I call it in from the universe. You and my sister get duck tattoos together, and I would love to have that on a live stream. That would be so fun. In the comments, y'all, like, come on, give us some support. We wanna have a time where we get to all go get tats together. We're all gonna get duck tattoos, people. That's gonna be our new thing. All right, and I have more oil pastels. This one, I have it in this weird plastic stuff because I don't know what. That's another question as an artist. What do you do to like keep your stuff from getting keep it sealed? But this was another oil pastels that was a little bit more on the crayon sort of chalky feel side. And this is Galadriel energy. Galadriel is like one of my cosmic character friends, and she's got this very like Sagittarius third eye energy that comes up a lot, and she's got a lot of very sort of like divine feminine kind of vibes. So a lot of curvy and pinks and stuff like that. That's where this vibe's coming from.
How do you choose your color palette?
First of all, love that you asked that. That's so fun because I want to know how you do that too. When I do this is the thing I love about the abstract stuff, right? Because I for a long time didn't consider myself to be an artist, right? Because I didn't have, if you don't draw traditionally or have traditional skills in like drawing shapes and scenery and what have you, you don't necessarily always think of yourself as an artist. For me, I sort of like, I pick out like a color that just kind of calls to me, and then I start setting out colors that I think like, these are the colors that like go together somehow. These are the ones that are buddies. And I just kind of start without thinking, and I just draw lines and see what happens and see where it goes. And it's my favorite part about it is I don't think at all. I just kind of let it come. And I start just kind of pulling in new colors and being like, oh yeah, this one looks like it wants to be with these colors. It really is sort of like an as I go along process. And it's a great time for me to be able to sort of channel new creative energy, because I do stop my brain from doing the like thinking all the thoughts that it likes to think all day.
Yeah, I do that as well. Like I'm not very much of a planner when it comes to art. Like I don't map what my colors are. I just kind of go for it.
You just start with like, here's these chunks. They look like they're fun right now. Let's start with these guys.
Yeah, that's how I start too. And I feel like art for me is like I like to I turn my brain off when it comes to art. It's like I'm in a meditative state where I don't have to
100%.
do a lot of thinking about like what's happening around my life. So that's why I lean towards art.
I am with you 100,000. It's like you just spoke the words that were in my heart is what you just did. It really is a meditative flow state where I'm like, all the things that I think about life all day, every day that are not necessarily valuable to me to like badger myself with. Guess what? Not going to think any of it. Pretty color. Yes. I'm going to draw this pretty line. What are we making right now? Is this water? Is this fire? I don't know. We'll see what it comes out as. We'll find out.
I love that.
It's, tell me, because I'm sure this is happening. Show me another piece of art and then tell me. Have you ever had like other brilliant ideas come to you while you're painting or doing art?
I don't know. I think I'm just like in the flow state. I don't do a lot of thinking. I'm just in the zone of okay, here's another one.
I love that. Okay, wait, now. Is that a penguin?
It is a shark.
It's a little shark. Oh my God, that's a shark taking a bubble bath with a beautiful little moon scene in the outside world. Y'all, if you are listening to this on the audio, get on Frankie's Podcast Network YouTube channel and make sure that you watch the video of that. Is the cutest thing. I love that. That looks Girl, you need to be like a children's book writer, illustrator. Like
I
I'm
thought
telling
about that.
that little shark in a bubble bath needs to have its own children's book to go with it. Like you got to follow that shark around doing whatever it does all day. I don't know what would you write as a story? What do you think? Let's go ahead. Cuz show me that again. It's so cute.
Yeah. So actually this shark, so there's this shark plushie from IKEA that I have and I love to death. And I just like
I love
had
that already.
to paint him.
Do you know? Okay, listen. For reals, like this would be a great Instagram theme page. You could take pictures of that little shark plushie like out in wherever you go. You take it to the cafe with you and like shark plushie, you know, George, whoever it is getting a coffee with you. And then you could like write that, like paint a little thing of like him in the cafe and like put it together with like you could put it all together, have a children's book. And I just, you know what? I'm so excited for all the awesome things that you're already going to create that you didn't even know you were going to create because of all the cute stuff that you're making over there.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of like animals, cute stuff. I use a lot of like pastel colors in my art. I guess that's just like it reflects like my personality. I just kind of like cute things. I like things to be chill, relaxed. I don't
Very like
yeah.
inner child, let your inner child play.
Yeah.
I love it. I dig it. I'm about it. You better believe we're gonna start writing some kids books together. Like we're gonna, because that's too cute right there. Your characters and your animals are too cute. We got to start naming them. I need to see more.
Oh, Sean the shellfish shark, selfish shark.
Oh, I was gonna say shellfish would be funnier, right? Because then it's
Yeah.
you gotta like Sean the selfish shark. Sure, it's Sean. It's Sean the self-love Sunday shark taking a nice little self-love bath, chill time. I love the
Yep.
bubbles too, by the way.
Thank you.
Show me more. I have to see more. I'm so excited. Like you're gonna turn these into some characters for like little animated series and all kinds of things. I'm so excited to see all these things. Everybody where are you on Instagram for people to see this stuff and follow you?
I actually don't really post on my Instagram.
Oh my
I've
God.
been
Guess what? Guess who's gonna be your new cheerleader nagging you all day, every day? Be like, girl sauce, you better be posting that stuff on the Instagrams. I want to see this. Like, let's get your I tell you what, that stuff needs to be out in the world. TikTok reels of your like adorable. Show me some more of that shark was too cute.
Okay, something less cute, maybe more funny is a seagull.
Oh, I love it. No, it's less cute, more funny. Like you gotta have a seagull. Now listen, that's wow, girl. Get up close on that face but like I like the detail you got going on his head. Like hot dang, and the feathers. Good. Like your shading technique. Talk to me about the medium here. Like what was that one? Oil pastels or paint again?
This one is actually watercolor. I painted this in my watercolor
That's watercolor
class. Yeah. Yeah, it actually looks
Girl.
very doesn't look like watercolor.
No, that looks like pencil. I would have thought that was pencil shaded. That's how well done that is. I love that. That's like that is awesome. Omni, I love the idea of like a visual kid book and then you make music that would go along with it. Like Omni would be rocking and rolling. Like you guys could do a collaboration. Here we go. Sal the Seagull. I love that.
Sal the Seagull.
Like Omni, I think if Xiao Lin and Omni need to be like starting a collab and do some music to go along with your cute little characters and like rock and roll that Instagram page because I want to see that. That is so cute. I love it. Show me more.
Thank you. I think I'm just like I think I have an obsession with like birds.
That is again, you don't know it, but that's on brand as a synchronicity for me. So it's good that you do. I love this. Show me more birds. You could this was a thing I used to do with my dad a lot, actually. My dad and I were like bird watchers, and like I would send pictures of birds that I would see outside and be like, Dad, what's this one? Let's look it up. And we'd go to whatbird.com and go try to figure out what the bird was that I just saw. I love it.
I actually have an app on my phone that's used to identify birds. It's kind of a
I love that.
substantive thing. Oh my god.
No, I love that. I have a friend who is a birder. That's what he does. My friend Terry is a birder, and like that's what he does is like take photography of birds and stuff like that. And like I gotta get you two together too, so that you could do like picture paintings of his birds and stuff. And there's a whole bird Audubon Society theme page. Let's get them sponsoring your art and stuff. Like, hi, hello, National Geographic. You need to get Xiao Lin and get her art skills. I love this.
I would love to do that. Like, I think the interesting thing about birds is just like every bird is just so interesting, and like their color and like their details of their feather. I just like to go into detail.
Well, and I love those birds that have like the iridescent. What I'm like,
yes.
Am I thinking of? Do you want to know? I saw, and like it's a bird that I've been like waiting to see for years and years and years. Never saw one in person. I saw a magpie, and I was like, "What? I never see magpie. That's amazing." I got so excited about it. I'm so glad we get excited about birds and art together. I didn't even know I was going to get excited about birds today. I'm so happy that we get to show me some more. Seriously, I'm loving this.
Next bird watercolor painting is two swans.
Oh, I love it. Oh, okay. Look at your reflection that you've got going on there. Is that on watercolor paper too? Or
yes, it is. This is watercolor on watercolor paper.
Girl, you got a talent with these watercolors. Let me tell you. I'm loving that.
I had a great teacher in my watercolor class.
I mean, listen, great teacher, great student. It all comes together to synergize making some beautiful art. Show me some more. I love it.
I would love to see some of yours. Do you have any like watery kind of like
this right back here that you see on the wall? That's a little duck wing and a duck foot. That's my friend Ducky, like the Ducky energy that I was telling. So it's like totally on brand. I don't even know if I have I do a lot of kind of watery type stuff, like water and fire sort of mix. So like this one that's a little more. This is an oil pastel, and this one has to be in plastic because it's still very wet oil pastel. But like I do a lot of sort of very watery and flames kind of shapes. Like I get a lot that elemental energy, or like this one is more kind of plants, but again, sort of like earth energy.
Like for me, eyes.
Yes, I have another painting that's got like 3 eyes. That's what I saw too, is like 3 eyes, but like kind of in like a plant sort of. I'm not sure what that is yet. I have there's got to be a sci-fi story here that I could write about some kind of plants that have eyeballs.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in the future where plants have eyes.
I can't wait for that. Like, show me that evolution in nature. I want to see it. Like, give me some creepy, weird plants that have eyeballs. I'm for it. And Omni, birds are one of the few kinds of animals that are not bland, four-legged things that I can imagine texturally. I love it. That is, see, there you go. You picked the right animal for Omni too.
The next one I want to show is
what you got here? Oh, I love that. Those are beautiful. Wow, you get some. So now is this watercolor too?
Yes, these are starting to become watercolor. Yeah.
No, but show me, pull that up one more time. So talk to me maybe a little bit about, again, this is like, are you looking at a photograph? Are you just sort of painting from something you see in some of these, or is some of this just like mind's eye sort of images, if that makes sense?
I definitely need reference for my paintings. I feel like that's a crucial part of how I do things. I feel like if I don't have reference, it's just kind of out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was from a photo. I think it was somewhere on the internet that I took off, and I really liked how it looked. but the colors aren't accurate. So, yeah.
Well, no, but that's what I really love though about when you use like reference photos and then you kind of play with it. It's your own sort of like manual Photoshop, right? But I really love, if you want to hold that up just one more time while we're chatting about it. Like, I really love how very detailed your petals are with that like ombre effect of that like really red pink down at the bottom or that dark purple, and then how it comes. Like, that's a really cool effect. And for that to be like, again, that does not look like watercolor to me. That looks like colored pencil, how like detailed and how fine your blending is on that ombre. Like, that is really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that. I would totally put that on my, y'all get up in like, get on Xiao Lin's LinkedIn, get up in her DMs and start offering her to buy that art because it's gorgeous. I love it.
I actually really like painting for like my friends and family, so I don't actually sell my art that often. I just kind of like give it away.
We're gonna know or change. I'm that way too, but guess what? We're changing that. I mean, we have so many art clients now after our awesome expo at the Museum of Modern Art, and I'm so glad we got to have that together. We had the best time, didn't we? It was so much fun.
It was the dream.
It was the dream. I can't wait for us to do another one. Show me some more. Show me some more. I am so loving this. I tell you what, you need to be doing some like children's book illustrations. That shark was too cute.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one of my options for my career path. I was like, I really like illustrations. I like cute things.
I mean, you could be doing like character, what do they call that? Oh, Omni or somebody in the comments help me out. What do they call those?
Comics? Or
no, I'm thinking, well, the comics, but for gaming, for the gaming industry, they do character concept artists. That's what it is. People who just like come up with a concept character. Like, you should start. That would be great. Come up with some characters and like, hey, I don't know what kind of video game type stuff we'll be making with it, but look, we're calling that in from the universe too. But we have some kind of kids game that you create with all your beautiful little characters. I love it.
I actually want to like talk about like how I kind of like made this kind of texture or gradient. So there's this technique in like watercolor where you paint over one color, you let it completely dry, and then you come back with like a wet brush and you kind of wet / dryish brush and come back and like pick up some of the colors, and that kind of gives it more of like this pastel kind of feel or look, and also gives more texture as well.
I was gonna say, like, there's so much depth to the colors in that. Like, it looks to me like it would be colored pencil, the way that it's sort of the way that you would layer on sort of color pencil. So I love that. Like, that's really very cool.
Thank you.
Show me some more. I really like, no, seriously, I'm loving this. This is so fun. I'm so glad you came here for show and tell.
Thank you for inviting me.
Like, this is gonna have to be a regular thing because, like, this is too fun.
Oh, that means I have to make more art.
Oh darn! You have to be creative some more.
I know.
Here's this weird thing that, like, I didn't know what I was drawing.
More
eyes. This is more eye. That's a theme for me, isn't it? It really is. So I kind of I started drawing some lines, and I kind of thought. I was like, it's either a bird from this direction or it's a genie lamp from this direction with a like Eye of Horus sort of thing going on. So, but like, this is one of those things where I didn't intend to draw that. I just started drawing and that's what I saw. And I just kind of went with it. So like, talk to me a little bit. So that's more my process. So this is kind of interesting to me, like how it's, artists visualize differently, right? Like, I will just start with like lines or whatever, and I'll go very abstract. But like, if I see something start to come up, I'll follow what I think that is. Do you ever like play around with abstract or that kind of thing with your art?
I think I'm like, I actually don't dabble too much in abstract. I feel like I like to have control over what I'm drawing. So, I think that's also part of my nature. I'm a Capricorn, so I like
there we go.
Things in control.
There it is. Nope, there it is right there. That's 100% correct. You got
Yeah.
them Capricorn vibes of like, nope, I'm going to have this look how I want to look, and I'm going to have this is what it is. And that's my Sagittarius vibes. Structure? What is structure? I don't do structure. I do very like fluid, flippity lines. That's what we do. We just roll with it and see what happens.
I love that contrasting like thing between us, that you really like the flow in your art, and then like I'm like more kind of rigid and like in the lines.
In the line. No, but the thing about art, right, is that you need all of it. It's all valuable. It's all valid expression, right? Like the things that I do, I like to think of are more sort of like energy, intuitive sort of art, right? But the things that you do and the energy that you put into things, like you have a very sort of it's the same it's just a different flavor of passion for what you do, right? It's a different flavor of meticulous just love for what you're doing. And I really do appreciate that you have the different techniques that you're experimenting with and that you're learning and teaching yourself and playing with and mixing them up and like trying the different mediums, because I do think that that play and that sort of experimentation is, again, like just helps you get further into that flow state of like, okay, let's really see where I can go with this. Let's see what I can do with this.
I think you would like watercolor because of how free flowing it is. You just kind of let the water take control sometimes. I think that's when I started watercolor, which was kind of like the hardest thing for me because I didn't know how to control the water. But
I think that's something that like I would really enjoy now that you're talking about watercolor. Like I'll just let the water kind of flow where it goes and see what kind of art comes from it. And then I'll follow some of those lines and see what happens. That's, just letting the water run where it runs. That sounds like a fun little abstract art playtime to me.
Yeah, I think you would really like that.
I think I would. I think we need to have like a artist play date sometime. I'm going to call that in from the universe too. We get to do art together. That's one of my favorite things. My other friend, Crystal Capricorn, who's also a Capricorn, we've like done art and stuff that where we sit and like do like the same art thing together. And it's a fun time. I'm calling it in from the universe that you and me get to do that too, because it'd be super crazy fun.
Yes. We're going to schedule it. We're going to do it.
Print it. Put it in the calendar. Put it in the date book.
Okay, another one I want to show. It's another animal, of course.
I'm for it. I love it. I'm loving this. We got another character to name.
Yeah, this time it's a crab.
It's a crab. Cancer vibes. What's up? You could do a whole zodiac series. Is another thing you could do. I love that. Oh, look at that purple starfish. I love that blue color. And my gourd again. Okay, now is this also watercolor?
It is watercolor, but it's on a different surface. It's like on this kind of like plasticky kind of board. It's like,
okay.
I don't know how to explain it, but there's like kind of like styrofoam in between, and it's just like
yeah.
paper.
No, I know it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's called, but I know what you're talking about. Almost like a poster board for like a sign for like. The thing that's coming to mind for me is when you have signs outside that people do for like there's a yard sale or a garage sale or an estate sale or whatever. I love that you used that though. Let me see that again.
Yeah, so it kind of gives it a different feel. Like this one, I felt like the watercolor just stayed more in place rather than flowing out. So
I was gonna say, it almost, you know what that makes me think of that it looks like? It looks like airbrush. Have you seen people who do like the airbrush? That's what it looks like to me. Because again, you have such great like shadowing and shading and fine, like there's such a fine depth to what you have in the background there. Like that's a skill that you must just naturally have, because that, I tell you what, that crab pops off of that background. So it's so cool. That's what it makes me think of, is that airbrush art. Put another X on the calendar.
Yes.
I love that. That is so cool. You like, that's again, that would be like, do you digitize any of this? Like to put on?
I do actually. Half of my work I digitize, and then the half I forget. but it's on a website somewhere. I forgot the link. I was trying to find it before we go live.
We'll put it in the description. We'll fix it up on the YouTubes. You got to get yourself an art pal for sure. That like I've got art pal is where I have like a lot of my stuff where it's, you know, the print on demand kind of thing. So you can like sell the physical pieces or you can do the print on demand. Like you should really do like that would be great for like art pal, but also for those like Redbubble stuff. I mean, again, if you just throw a like Cancer symbol on there for Zodiac peeps, you got yourself like all the Zodiac peeps be buying your stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about Redbubble. I haven't heard about art pal before. Yeah, I've definitely tried Redbubble before.
Check out art pal too, because it's specific to art. So like, I mean, may as well put your stuff out there. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Again, don't think I won't be bothering you to come back for another podcast and that we're not going to collaborate on some all kind of like, I don't even know what content we're going to make with that beautiful art. It's just wonderful. I'm loving this.
I'll definitely come back. One thing I'm curious about is like, so you put your art out online. Do you ever worry about, you know, people stealing it and like, you know, how would you deal with that?
I'm not going to, because you know what? I think that whatever I would do to try to prevent that, somebody's going to have a way to figure out how not to. And I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to live my life in the like, I have to protect everything I have as if there's so much scarcity. There's not enough room for me and everybody else. I think there is. I think there's room for everyone to put their stuff out there and thrive and profit from whatever it is that they make. And, you know, if somebody does start stealing your stuff, then hey, that's, you know what, they do that to Gucci and all the other like best brands out there. Just take it as a compliment and keep doing you, babe. You know,
I love that mindset.
I don't think it's useful to like worry and fret and fight that fight. You're just putting your energy into things that you can't shift anyway. You know, keep putting your energy and just to creating more.
Yeah, take it as a compliment that people find your art really nice.
I mean, if they be stealing it, then you're doing something right. You must be like super rockin' rad if everybody wants to be you.
I would love to see more of yours and like maybe like a funky kind of like color choice.
Show you. Here we go. Now this here, I did not intend. This was actually kind of funny. So like I was sitting and doing what I thought was going to be more sort of like an underwater scene, but it turned into what looks like a face licking a brain. That's what I.
Is that like the beak?
Like that's kind of, I'm like, it's a weird sort of fish beak, something underwater, and it's licking a brain. And I'm like, neurospicy is the new sexy. That's what I'm saying. That's that vibe. I was like, I didn't think that's what I was drawing, but that's what it turned into. And this one was kind of fun. This was actually, so this is those acrylic paint pens. And I had this, it's just like a cardboard like backing from like some other art that I got in like a witchy monthly box thing I did like years ago. And I had all these like these little art pieces that had these cardboard backing to keep them from wrinkling it in the mail, right from the mailer. And I was like, this is a cool texture. I want to paint on that. So I did.
Oh, I'm like that too. I like to collect different materials like cardboard. It's like, oh, I could use that later in the future for my arts and stuff.
Are you like, I have like legitimately as you say that and as we sit here, I have cereal boxes, empty cereal boxes behind me that I have been pulling apart and using like the inside of the cereal boxes, because it's exactly that thing where I'm like, this is really good for oil pastels.
Yeah.
That's like a right texture for it. Like, and I like that it's kind of a thicker like cardboard, but it's still, you know, malleable. It's not like really super stiff to be able to like draw on. So I'm so glad I'm not the only one who does weird stuff like that. Oh, yay.
You're not alone. I try not to hoard stuff, but like
I try not to hoard stuff. That is a creative person. Like, listen, that's you just being the ADHD being that you are. Like, I try not to hoard all the things that I think I could use to make creative stuff, but I kind of can't help it. Yeah. You know what it is? You've got that natural dragon energy that I have, and we just want to have a treasure hoard to sit on. We have treasure hoards of art supplies is what we do.
Next
it's brilliant.
This one is a little bit different and like different from my color palette.
Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, wow, I love that. What that is so cool. I love that color palette. That's now what is the Ooh, is that metallic? That gold behind her?
Yeah, so it's kind of
Okay.
mixed media. So there was this gold like watercolor little paint set I used on it,
Okay.
but it kind of rubbed off, so I used gold acrylic
I
instead.
love it. I love that metallic effect.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that is a really mixed media then. You've got a couple different
Mhm.
like, hold that up again. Let me see her. She's so pretty. I love that. What category would you kind of put this in? Not to like, not that I want to box you into things, but what, like, I'm seeing her as being sort of bring her back up again. Maybe not like kind of a little bit of like geisha vibes, right?
Mhm.
But like, man, she's kind of got a very sort of maybe elven kind of vibe.
Mm.
I love this like hooded like what would you call that she's wearing? Not really a robe, but like I like the
I would say it's like a robe.
kind of a robe or like a
Yeah.
it's got like that hooded thing. It looks very
Mhm.
sort of like silky. I loved because like I do love that you have that kind of effect, and even that you've got that detail that there's like a pattern on the edge of the robe
Mhm.
there. I love that. I love that whole man, girl. Like everybody needs to be getting your art for just all the things. I just can't even. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, I found this or yeah, I found this picture on Pinterest. Like I use Pinterest and Instagram for inspiration. Um, but I was like looking for more of like kind of East Asian traditional wear or like their
Mhm.
traditional clothing. And I think this one is from Japan. This person's Japanese and they're wearing like a
Mhm.
kimono kind of robe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. And I tell you, that is for me, like people and faces and human figures are a challenge because there's I mean, but like the way that you've got her profile done so well and that, I love it. Man, I tell you what, you got a hot bunch of talent, girl. Like, who out there is looking for an artist with all this talent? Somebody needs to be calling you and hiring you right now. I mean, I'm just going to have a fit if they don't.
I really like doing art as like a hobby. I feel like I'm not like pressured into making something that's like quote unquote perfect. So
Well, or doing it to someone's specifications.
mm,
But that's, I kind of think that's where we need to. That's why I like the idea of this creative community because I do
mhm,
think we need to shift things into a space where instead of people coming to you and saying, "Hey, you're an artist, you have these skills, make this thing that I want." Right? Because this is I think maybe a little bit of the contention that there is with AI being able to create
mhm,
imagery, right? Is that like, well, why would someone go to an artist if they can have AI do it? Well, why don't you go to an artist for the art that they already have available that fits what you're trying to do? Why should companies that are doing marketing or want certain color palette or whatever it is, why should they not be out there looking for what you already have out there available, right? And
yeah,
instead of asking you as the artist like, "Hey, fit into this box that we want you to fit into." No, how about I already have all kind of stuff. Does anything in my box work for what
mhm,
you need? If yes, here you go. If not, okay, there's somebody else out there next, right?
yeah,
Like I see that being kind of the next evolution in our sort of human interaction as creative people, right? That we create a community of supportive creatives. We're like, "Hey, here's our stuff. If y'all want it, whoever y'all are that need art, come on over, find us." Like it should go that way. If I
yeah,
have what you're looking for, why do I have to like suddenly change myself to be what you're looking for?
yeah. I agree.
I think I think we're heading in that direction,
Mhm.
right? But that's why we have these wonderful little podcasts where I get to have awesome people like Xiao Lin come on and show me more of her awesome art. I love
Thank
this.
you. Yeah, and I agree, like, if you put your art out there, you put your work out there, people will eventually find it, and if they like it, they'll gravitate towards you instead of, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
going to use, like, AI. I understand why people use AI because it's
Yeah.
convenient, and there's that fee barrier. I feel like that's why people gravitate to AI.
Well, definitely, but that's why I think it's good for creatives to kind of come
Mhm.
together and have a community together
Yeah.
and have sort of that like shared, we have all of this art that's already available. Come check it out.
Mhm.
But it's, again, I think we're getting to that space where people are recognizing the value of both, right? And that
Mhm. Yeah.
the AI space, like it has its place and it has its function, right? And but so do artists and so do the
Mhm.
very particular. I think we're getting there where people start figuring it out and just, your audience is out there. They will find you. And that's how it's supposed to work,
I love
right?
that. Yeah.
I think that is true. Show me some more. I love this.
I would love to see some more
I'm
of
just
yours.
I'm just so excited. Okay. I also get like very sort of like here's another one that's very tentacle
Mm.
vibes.
That is very tentacly.
Right? Very there's some kind of alien something again going on here. I don't know where they're from. I'll figure it out at some point, but I'm not sure where I have it. I also have so like a lot. Oh, maybe I do have. This is one. This is kind of something that like abstractly comes up a lot when I'm
Mm.
what I imagine this is because these shapes and this sort of pattern comes up a
Mhm.
lot is a and I'm going to write this is one of the short stories that I have like a little bio written up others I have been in the multiverse that there's a version of me on a planet that is circling a black hole that like they don't have a sun their planet
Mhm.
orbits a black hole so they get their light from bioluminescent plants that developed on the planet and this is like a bioluminescent plant that like it gives off the vitamin D and the light that the planet needs and the version of me in the multiverse that lives on that planet, that's her job is to take care of the bioluminescent plants that provide the light that everybody needs for like the vitamin D and stuff.
I
So
love
that
that
is
story. Do you make a story for every piece of art you make, or does it just like comes naturally to you after you're
it's
done?
kind of the thing that like it's as I kind of draw like or have these shapes kind of come up, I'm like,
Mhm.
that's what that is. It's it's like I'm kind of channeling that other version of me from the multiverse who does that and is like, hey, this is this thing that I do, and that's why this image is coming to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's another little story I write then. That's what that is. So it really is that sort of it's like you said, it's a meditative state,
Mhm.
right? And it's like when my mind is quiet like that, that's when those kind of other ideas can come to me, right? And that's when I get those other inspirations of like, oh, that's what that is. It's like kind of tapping into a story that I haven't written yet.
Love that. Another one I want to show. I I feel like a lot of my art gravitates towards like greens and blues. So here's
Very
another.
earth tones.
Yeah. So,
That is gorgeous. That is the most beautiful, just ocean, beach. And okay. I love this. Look at the texture of that wave that you have down there and all the little
yeah.
bubbles on the water against the sand. I love how clean that beach sand looks. Look at that sky and those clouds. And I love that you've got the sun behind the clouds effect going on with that yellow. I tell you, that is okay. And is that watercolor?
Yes, it is. And like the way I created like these kind of foam
Yeah.
texture is actually with like this wax. Uh they probably sell it at the art store, but it's like a piece of wax and I just kind of like went over it before putting on the color. And then once you put color over it, like the
Oh, it
white.
like bubbles and it bubbles away from the wax.
Yeah, yeah, basically. It's like
That's
doesn't
really
like
cool.
it doesn't color over the area that the wax was on.
Girl, I tell you what, you have a particular talent for drawing water. Like No, really, hold that up again. Again, people who are listening on the audio sauce, get onto the YouTubes and just find this episode. That is so gorgeous. I love that it's so many natural. Here's what I really love about that. There's so many natural
Mhm.
tones, and it seems like at first glance, somebody would see that and think that it's not got like a whole lot of color to it. But the nuance and the different shades of like the tan and the sand, the different shades of blue in the water and the waves, and the different like grays and whites and blues in the clouds, and that yellow that you had. Like, I love how much of the like very light of nature you capture in that. Cause that, like, I love going out and being outdoors. That is
Mhm.
like one of my things, like watching the way that the light plays on the water and with like the leaves and all the different pieces of nature. Like the way that you capture that and how the light plays behind the clouds and on the water. Like, again, you have a natural talent for drawing the water stuff. I love it.
Thank you. I don't know, like, does my sign have to do anything with it? Because I know Capricorn has, like, a tail, but
Well, I mean, Capricorn, you are an earth sign.
yeah.
So you're very, there's again that elemental energy, being very in tune to sort of like the planetary energies, the elemental energies. I like to think of it as like sort of that fairy fourth dimensional realm, right? Being very tied into that. I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I love painting nature pieces. I just feel like it's really relaxing. It gives me, like, a sense of calm. I think that's why I paint most of the things I paint for my friends are, like, nature-esque, nature pieces.
I
Mm.
think I love that about, because again, whatever you do as an artist, your energy goes into it.
Mhm.
And so I really love it that you give that to friends and stuff, because obviously what you create and that peaceful energy that you feel as you create it, that is put into your art. And that energy, like, it exudes from your
Mhm.
art when you give it to someone. And I think that is like to give someone something peaceful and calming in this very noisy world we live in. That is a beautiful gift.
I just realized maybe that's why I don't paint or draw buildings. I feel like it's, like, very noisy
There
for
you
me.
it's not the vibe that you're going
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
That's not what you're tuned into.
Mhm.
I love it. Look at, I can't believe that we're already coming up on an hour. This is wild. You
I
have to come
know.
back. We have to do this again. Artist show and tell is my new favorite thing ever. I just am so glad. Xiao Lin Wen, artist extraordinaire. I like, tell everybody where to find you right now. I've got your LinkedIn. We'll put your art links and stuff. Is there anywhere else people should be looking for you?
Just look for me on LinkedIn. I do need to do work on, like, my website and Instagram. I know Haleigh will pester me
No,
for that.
listen, it's all gonna come together beautifully. We're all this beautiful creator community that is coming together around us. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm so glad you're here and joined us. We will go check out Xiao Lin, find her on LinkedIn. And again, I don't know who out there needs some National Geographic or again children's book. Like, you gotta, somebody out there needs you and your art skills right this very second. I know they do. And I can't wait for you to text me and tell me that somebody was like, saw your stuff and how awesome it was and said, yes, I want to pay millions of dollars for you to do the this, that, and the other. I can't wait.
I'm waiting for that too. Or I'll go find them, you know?
No, they'll find you. No, that your audience will come to you. That's our whole thing. They're gonna find you because we said so. Because we say so in the FrankiVerse, and then it is so. That's what we do.
I'll believe it. I believe it.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, everybody who popped in to say hello. Thank you, everybody, for listening out in the ether. And thank you so much again, friend, for joining me. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me, Haleigh.
We'll catch y'all next time.
Hello everybody, Guy with the Shift here. Hope you enjoyed the content that you just got to see. It's always great to have you along for the journey here and enjoying the wildness that's on this channel. If you like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the video, give it the old thumbs up. I love thumbs ups. And we hope to see you along again soon. By the way, rumor has it that there's a great artist in this channel. The link in the description is where you can go ahead and decide for yourself if those rumors are true. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.